Our next guest speaker is Monica Hart. And Monica is a spiritual marketing coach and certified leadership life coach who leads the Unity Center of Davis Chaplain program. She's committed to a mindful and spiritual awakening practiced through daily meditation, journaling, marathon running, and serving in love on many community nonprofit boards. Today her Soul Talk is titled, I Am Returned to My Essence. Please put your hands together for Monica Hart.
Thank you. I invite you in this moment to turn to someone and say, I behold your greatness. And I behold your greatness, RJ, JG, bringing this divine appointment together with this tribe. Right? Yes. And as I was sharing something with someone on the break, who was saying that I'm so glad that I'm here, and and I'm paraphrasing, I'm really needing that love. And I said to this person, to this beautiful soul, beautiful spirit, well, you have come into this container of love, of consciousness, of being. And so allow yourself to surrender and sink into that beautiful love. And as we do that, sometimes in the moment, we think that nothing is happening. Have you ever had that experience? Well, you know, I've been praying, I've been in meditation. Well, nothing's shifted, nothing's happening. Have you ever had that experience? Thank you. Don't leave me out there on the line. Don't do that. Because I'm going to be naked and transparent today. So I need you to step up and be the same way. However, what happens is, shortly after that period of prayer and meditation, and I'm looking for those miracles, and I'm listening, it shows up. And there's that shift. And so I invite this young lady to just be in it, feel it, take it with you. So I want you to know that my lid flipping started at a very young age. Probably the minute I took my first breath. And I'm so grateful that I've had this lip flipping experience. However, as I was growing up, and I want to give you just a little bit of background, Mrs. Huntley, would you like to press charges this time? I'm about 6, escaping from a 2-story home with a violent alcoholic father who would throw these very expensive crystal decanters all over the room. And this went on from the time that I can remember. I only remember from age 6. It went on until I was there when my mother took her last breath, as she had committed suicide. No, I don't want the all. It isn't about being that victim. It is about, at this point, and let me tell you, I did go through many years of playing the victim, as many of my friends know, out in the audience. However, after a period of time, I realized that this was the biggest gift of my life. That what I realize now, as I'm involved in this spiritual work in the community, that I truly can be compassionate, be kind, see the greatness in each of you, look beyond that physical, and see your perfect divineness. See your perfect divineness. So at the age of 17, I'm in Ottawa, Canada, and I'm a senior in high school, and my parents came to me and said, we're leaving in 2 weeks for California. What another staging opportunity of situations, circumstances to create this birth and this training ground of learning how to show up in my divinity. So at the age of 6, I found myself sitting in my closet praying. I knew that there was something, and I knew that that was my anchor. And I had, yes, been raised that traditional Church of England, Anglican, don't crack a smile, communion, shine the brass, sing in the choir, yada, yada, yada. However, that is the one anchor that I was able to hold on to at that age. And so I hope with a little bit of that background that you can see that I've had a pretty fertile ground of ego training to qualify me to be practicing these truth principles. So today I was at 24-hour fitness, trying to work the muscles, trying to keep the physical body, right, because it's mind, body, and spirit. And I'm reading Marianne Williamson's The Age of Miracles. And I just pulled a piece out of the paragraph out of my book, and it said, she said, it took me 30 years to get to this place of even understanding my divineness. The first 10 years, I resisted. I went through the motions with A Course in Miracles, and many of you know that Marianne Williamson is steeped in A Course in Miracles. The next 10 years, she said, I spent the time fighting and wrestling with my ego. The last 10 years, currently, and probably now 5 more years since the book was written a few years ago, she said, I'm now at a point where I am steeped and deeper in my understanding and awakening. And for me, I can tell you that sometimes it's second by second. And as a dear friend told me years ago, this is something that if I'm really having a really, really, really difficult moment or day, sometimes I have to reach up to touch bottom when I've slipped into my ego humanness. So how do we move through the pain, the humanness, because we know that we do have this free will thinking, and many of our speakers today have talked about that humanness. And so how do we return to our divinity And Dr. Gale talked about this breath, breath, breath. And so through my experience and the humbleness of serving as a chaplain, when people have taken their last breath, to be there in their presence, one with their spirit, one with their soul, I know that when I am out there running a marathon or pacing with 100-mile runners through the Green Mountains of Vermont, the last 31 miles in the dark with a full moon with a flashlight, that all I know is my own divinity. It is what it is. It is about being in the moment with whatever is coming up. The anger, the sadness. Julie talked about this. We're wanting to escape from the discomfort. Oh my gosh, I spent years and years and years doing that. And my dear friend Linda can, thank God she stuck with me and she's watched me transition and wake up. Years of it, running away from being uncomfortable as I was busy doing all the corporate ego BS, thinking that that would fill me up, that someone like Judy, I just want somebody like me. Oh my gosh, if I do more. And the real wake-up call I got 8 years ago, I was in a management meeting with my peers, and they turned to me and they said, you know, there's just something about you that's not quite right. You're going to have to turn your light down. You're going to have to turn your light down. And in that moment, I knew that it was time for me to get my wings and get on with my divinity, my spirituality, and the work that I have been asked to come here and do. So when I'm out there, I'm a spiritual marketing coach, and I won't bore you with the marketing coach, but the spirituality part of it is, I'll tell you this, the only clients that I take on at this point are clients who will begin their marketing session in prayer. Those are the only clients I work with. Those are the only ones that find me at this point. So my dear friend at Unity Center of Davis, I'm borrowing what he taught me, and he started saying, when someone asked him, how are you doing, John? I'm choosing to be blessed and grateful. So I'm going to invite you, after I tell the story, and my dear friend Marnie and I were at a restaurant about a month ago, and I will just stand in my light. I don't care who you are. Somebody says, and you've probably heard me say this already today, how are you doing? How are you doing, Monica? I'm blessed and grateful. And this guy says, why? I'm serious. I'm going, well, because I choose to. I choose to be blessed and grateful. And I said to him, tell me more about that. Well, you can't always be blessed and grateful. You can choose to be blessed and grateful. And I just walked away and sat down with Marnie at the lunch table. But I really invite you to try that out. Most of the time, people will say to me, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. You're the first person today that has reminded me about being blessed and grateful. And so I'm just wondering that if you were that person, that beautiful soul that is going around raising the consciousness and the love and saying, I am blessed and grateful, what does that mean for you and that other beautiful soul that you're connecting with? I can only tell you, I've been in situations, because I am a prayer chaplain and I lead the program at Unity Center of Davis. I've been in situations where I have, in that moment, prayed in the middle of Safeway with one of the produce managers whose son had committed suicide. I've been in the parking lot of, by the way, the animal on H Street, the veterinarians, Dr. Aaron True. Amazing veterinarian place. I pulled in one day, this was about 3 days before Thanksgiving, got out, and I was prayed up, I meditated, I was in that place of consciousness of wanting to find that opportunity to be able to love, to serve, to just be, to listen to that inner voice. Pulled in because one of my clients is Professional Village Compounding Pharmacy. So they send a lot of prescriptions over to us. I got out and I looked over, and this woman has her back door open, and this giant standard poodle is laid across the seat. And I know at this point, if I'm truly in my divinity and truly present, there's something up. And I turned to her and she said, and I had my pups in the car, I'll tell you about those in a minute. She said, I'm here to put Susie, she has to be euthanized. And in that moment, I was able to show up in my divinity and pray with her, and it was raining in the parking lot. To just be with her, to hold her in that sacred place, to just surround her in that love. And here we are, I'm holding the paw of Susie and Florence, and we are praying in the parking lot right over here. Some of these stories and some of these examples that I'm sharing with you are about how I reset my divinity button. Oh my gosh, I have had to reset it so many times. The warranty has run out. It's had to be repaired. It's a good thing my divinity button is like my Subaru. It will go for at least 300,000 miles. I am so grateful. Because if it didn't, I'd be in trouble. How many of you practice gratitude? Excellent. So what I have found in my life, that if I am coming from that place of gratitude, and you've heard me say this, I am blessed and grateful, that I am looking for ways to be grateful, and I'm looking for ways to remind people how to be grateful. Everything shifts. Dr. Robert Emmons, UC Davis, Julie may know about Miss Dr. Emmons. He specializes in teaching gratitude all over. He's got a number of books. And we know that as we experience gratitude, and one of the things that I do is before I go to sleep at night, I just lay there and I go through the whole day of where gratitude showed up and perhaps where I humbly was able to show someone else how to be grateful. And so I invite you, before you slip into that sleep, to be able to reflect in that place of gratitude. I really believe that that is the core foundational piece of inner healing. Mama loves the Libby, Ollie, and the Simon. Mama loves the Libby, Ollie, and the Simon. Mama loves the Libby, Ollie, and the Simon. And I am so grateful and blessed. Mini dachshunds. And I set them up on stage because I'm a runner, I'm a marathon runner. So I have a cart that we go out. I do the upper body and the running, and we'll do 6 miles together. And I stage them so they can serve in love. I purposely put them in the cart, off we go, and we're William Land Park, or we're up on the river. And every single time, Spirit has me connect with someone. Then I'm open, I'm listening to that inner voice, because the inner voice is my guide as I co-create with Spirit, and yes, experience the human stuff, all the stuff, but I can return to my divinity in every breath. That I know if I'm driving, whatever I'm doing, I can breathe in that breath of love, of knowing that I'm wholly, whole, and complete. Even though all the stuff is going on, the humanness, and the situation and the circumstances continue to change, like the weather. They always will. But I know that I am anchored in that place of divinity anytime I want, anywhere I am, with a breath. That divine breath. And so I'd like to invite us, rather than a question and answer, I would like us in this moment to be willing to just sit and relax and step into a very short meditation. So just breathe in that beautiful, divine, loving breath, breathing it in. Another breath. Loving, living presence. We just surrender into this mindful, present moment to feel the truth of who we are. Holy, loving, wholeness, compassion, love, faith, belief, knowing that I can return to this place of truth in every breath. My divinity never changes. I am that I am. I am one with you, Spirit, connected to that source of overflowing light and love. And that as I step into every human situation, every human moment, I can return to that place of love, that gentleness, that knowing that nothing and no one can disturb my truth, my divinity. And so as we breathe in that beautiful breath of love and light, there's a willingness to let go of the story, the illusion, and just be steeped in that bathing light and love, to feel that healing from within, listening to that small, powerful inner voice, that inner voice that is always the truth, that always knows, that as I listen to my inner voice, God, Spirit, I know the difference between my ego and my inner voice. I'm willing to just be and listen, not question, and know that that divine plan that Spirit has for me is so great if I only trust with each breath in the moment as I bathe my heart in that light and love, as I continue on this human journey. So we know this to be our truth, that we are divine beings having this human experience. And so it is. Amen.